Howdy, I'm Grey Pilgrim. Well, I've been looking for something. Well, in a lot of ways, I've been looking for something. But let's get this up here. There. What you're looking at here is a model 1911 Schmidt Rubin straight pull carbine. I have this, a carbine. I have the same thing in rifle, 1911 rifle. And I have the grandson of this thing, which is called the K31. But I was missing one rifle in the series. Well, actually two, but one in particular. The only other straight pull that I didn't have, I'd bring down the 1911 and show it off too, but it gets, the table would get really cluttered if I put the K31 in here and everything. But what I was really looking for was this. Model 1899 Schmidt Rubin straight pull. Same as that one. And but with this big old boxy magazine. The difference is that the 1911 rifle and the K31 all shoot a particular kind of ammo called GP11. GP11 is 7.5 by 55 Swiss. That's well and good. This one technically could shoot GP11. Technically. Some of them. The reason is that the throat on the chamber in here, when it was cut, it's cut extremely large. And because of that, there's enough freebore that you could actually shove a GP11 cartridge in it. But this was not designed for GP11. It was designed for 7.5 by 53.5. GP90 was the preceding cartridge. This is the very first Swiss rifle that was designed for anything other than black powder. Before this was a Vetterli, which was designed for black powder. That was I think it was an 1870s model. I forget exactly. But this one, there's a few others I'm missing. There's a 1889/11, which is sort of an intermediate model. I think basically it's after the 1911 was had been adopted, and they retrofitted these to shoot GP11, and that's what it basically is. But this is a actual GP90 shooting 1889 rifle. So at least one country, I've got the entire series of straight pull bolt action rifles for that country, which I've been looking for a while. I mean, I've got others like the Swedish. I've got the model 1896 Mauser, and I also have their M38 carbine. There's a couple of other little ones I'd love to get. And their pistols. I'd love to get their pistols. Their revolvers, most of them, the Swiss and the Swedes used revolvers a lot. And I've been lusting for a Swiss revolver for years, but they just never come up. These were used to be really cheap, but these days they just don't show up. A friend of mine found this at a gun show here locally and put out a call amongst his local friends saying, anybody interested in 1889? And he contacted my cousin with that. And so my cousin called me and I said, is it this? Is it this? Yeah. I said, sold. And matter of fact, I still owe the guy some money on this, which I'll pay him probably Groundhog Day. Well, actually the day before Groundhog Day, the 1st. But, I've got an 1889 now. There was once a show, there's a YouTube channel called Bloke on the Range. And Mike, who's the bloke, did a series on the history of the Swiss rifle. He lives in Switzerland. And he had a table loaded with every one of them. And it looked just so gorgeous. And I don't have a big enough table, but I now have all of the major models of Schmidt Rubin straight pulls. designed by Schmidt with a cartridge designed by Rubin. Now, the Swiss are an interesting people. Every man in Switzerland, and most girls as well, has a gun. Every one of them. Shooting is a national sport there. And it's just accepted by the culture as what people do. And it's a wonderful thing to do. I think it would be great to go out and have a big family picnic and a get together and like a summer festival or something, but have it at a rifle range. That would be fun. They do that in Switzerland. Everybody does that. Of course, anyone in Switzerland has mandatory military service. Because the Swiss have armed neutrality. They are neutral, but they are armed to the teeth. And in World War II, they really practiced that belief. They created what they called the National Redoubt, which meant that every pass into Switzerland, every river, every trail was covered by artillery and anti-tank measures. And it was just, I've seen some documentaries on these redoubts they built in the mountains up there. You have this wholesome looking little farmhouse that just push a button and the front of the thing comes open, and like 2 or 3 155 millimeter cannons are sitting there pointing right at the pass. They mean serious business. But in World War II, the K-31, which is the final iteration of this straight pull, was the rifle of Switzerland. And to this day, most Swiss guys have a K-31 or the 1911, but usually a K-31, which they use in target practice. There was a mass shooting in Switzerland several years ago, and after that, they sort of constricted they made a little bit tighter gun laws there, but not too tight because people like shooting. In other words, don't persecute everyone because some loon went off his nut and decided to do something really crazy. Everybody is not a loon. Everybody is not crazy. That's the rules of this thing, I guess. But anyway, I've now got every Schmidt Rubin, and I'm a happy camper. Happy trails, folks.